Peso Pluma, whose real name is Hassan Emilio Cabande Leja, has postponed his show tonight at Fiserv Forum because of death threats from the CJNG, which stands for Jalisco New Generation Cartel.
Jersey don't love you. You get no money in my state. You get no money in my state. You chief. You chief. Chief Keef.
Sean said, black youngster, yo got it, money bag.
I ain't finna sit over here and play with no do all this extra. Man, you just to know. I let you do that.
Being a rapper isn't exactly a safe or easy career. It's a dangerous game where fame, street ties, and rivalries can put a target on your back, and many rappers have found themselves caught up in life-threatening situations where entire gangs were out to get them. Take Chief Keef, for example. At one point, he had an entire New Jersey gang coming after him, all over something that apparently wasn't even his fault.
We got an issue for you, Chief.
I got an issue for you. You disrespect my block, all headshots. I ain't playing with you. South over Sosa, shoot on sight.
Or consider Peso Pluma, the Spanish-speaking artist who found himself on the receiving end of cartel death threats.
Tomorrow's concert by Mexican rapper Peso Pluma is canceled. It was supposed to take place at Fiserv Forum. Shows in other cities are also called off. This after threats from alleged members of a Mexican cartel.
Some of these rappers have been lucky enough to escape unscathed, dodging bullets both literally and figuratively. But unfortunately, others weren't so lucky, and their careers and lives were cut short before their time. Let's dive in deeper. Let's start with one of the most well-known rappers to come out of Chicago, FBG Duck. His story is one that's become all too familiar in the rap game. In 2020, FBG Duck was gunned down in broad daylight in the Gold Coast, one of the wealthiest areas of Chicago. Duck was shopping for a birthday present for his son when the attack happened. In the middle of the afternoon, 2 cars filled with shooters pulled up and unleashed over 40 shots in Duck's direction.
I knew for sure this was gunshots.
CPD would later determine someone fired those shots at Chicago rapper FBG Duck.
The Gold Coast is far from the streets where you'd expect this kind of violence, so the mother sent shockwaves across Chicago. As we all know, the brutal way he was gunned down all came down to one thing: gang rivalry. Duck, who was repping STLEBT, a set under the Gangster Disciples, had long been involved in a deadly rivalry with the Black Disciples, specifically with the infamous O-Block crew. He was one of the most well-known GD rappers from Chicago, and his name carried weight both in music and in the streets. Word on the streets was that Duck had put a lot of pressure on the BDs, and rumors swirled that King Von, another Chicago rapper with strong ties to O-Block, had put a bounty on Duck's head. On the day of the shooting, it's said that a BD named TZ spotted Duck while he was shopping and quickly tipped off his people. That's when 5 shooters from O-Block, C. Murda, Kenny Mack, Loss, C. Thang, and Muwop, jumped into 2 cars and sped to the Gold Coast to carry out the hit. Another dude, Mizael Rawls, was also reportedly involved, but he took his own life before the cops could catch him. Reports suggest that after Duck was offed, King Von handed out custom O-Block chains to the guys involved in the hit, solidifying their loyalty and commemorating the event. Almost immediately after the mother, rumors spread that the BDs were behind the shooting, but it took the authorities a little while to gather enough evidence to make arrests. Eventually, everyone involved in Duck's offing was charged and convicted, facing life sentences for their roles in the brutal mother.
Members of Chicago's O-Block gang have been convicted in the 2020 murder of a rapper known as FBG Duck. Duck's real name was Carlton Weekly.
Duck's death sent shockwaves through Chicago, especially since it took place in such an upscale, unexpected location. Next up is Chief Keef. His long-standing feud with New Jersey has roots that stretch all the way back to 2014, when what should have been just another performance turned into a night of chaos. The Chicago rapper was doing a show at a club in Elizabeth, NJ, when a group of guys in the crowd decided they were going to try and snatch his chain right there in the middle of his set. The attempted robbery didn't go as planned. The guys ultimately failed to get his jewelry, but the incident left a lasting impression on Keef. And when it came time to respond, he didn't just clap back at the individuals who tried to rob him, he went after the whole state. Not long after the altercation, Keef dropped his now infamous track, Finetto, a song that quickly became a Chicago drill anthem, but also sparked one of the biggest rap controversies in New Jersey history. In the song, Keef doesn't hold back, taking direct aim at New Jersey with the now iconic line, I'm riding through New York, finna go and shoot New Jersey up. Trying to take my chain, I ain't going through it. We gon' come and blow New Jersey up.
Take my chain, I ain't going. We gon' come and blow New Jersey up.
That single bar sent shockwaves through the streets of New Jersey, particularly among gang members who took it as a personal challenge. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a failed chain snatching. It had escalated into an all-out war of words, with New Jersey gangs making it crystal clear that Chief Keef was no longer welcome in their state. And then came one of the most bizarre reactions in rap beef history, the diss picnic. In response to Keef's Finetto lyrics, a large group of New Jersey locals, many of them gang members, organized an actual outdoor gathering solely dedicated to dissing Chief Keef. They pulled up to a park, set up shop, and proceeded to record videos of themselves collectively slandering the rapper, making sure to let the world know that he had officially been banned from their city.
Jersey don't love you. You get no money in my state. You get no money in my state. You Chief. You Chief Keef.
Of course, once clips of the event made their way to social media, the internet had a field day. People couldn't believe that an entire group of grown men had come together just to publicly air out their frustrations with a rapper over a song. The comments section was ruthless. One person joked, "The world would really be different if ninjas just got jobs or a hobby." Another user laughed at the absurdity of the whole thing, writing, "Had the whole neighborhood out just to say F Chief Keef and he not welcomed LOL." But the comment that really summed up the ridiculousness of it all was this one. Mefs really said, "You meet at the spot, we finna make a video saying if Chief Keef." And MFs replied, "8 bet, say less." Meanwhile, Chief Keef remained unbothered. He didn't respond immediately and instead let the controversy build on its own. But when he finally did break his silence in October 2014, he made it clear that he wasn't beefing with the entire state of New Jersey, just the people who had tried him. Taking to Twitter, he wrote, "I love all my real fans in New Jersey. It's just for them sucker-hating dudes. They got smoke coming, die down." That wasn't the only time he addressed the situation, though. In an interview with XXL, Keef doubled down on his tough guy persona, famously describing himself as a gorilla in a Finn coupe. And he made sure to drive the point home visually too. When the music video for Finetto dropped, it opened with a young girl standing at a zoo, looking through the bars at Chief Keef and his crew. The implication is that he's the beast in the cage. Throughout the video, Keef is seen decked out in high-end designer clothes, smoking massive joints, and flexing with his crew, all while the bars of his infamous New Jersey diss blare in the background. But the drama didn't stop there. Fast forward to June 2nd, 2018, and Chief Keef found himself in a life-threatening situation when he was reportedly shot at outside the Times Square W Hotel in New York City. The gunman missed, but the attempted shooting sent the internet into a frenzy, with many speculating that the attack was directly linked to Keef's New Jersey beef.
Chicago rapper Chief Keef is doing fine tonight after being shot at in New York. The 22-year-old seen here in this file video was outside the W Hotel in Manhattan early this morning when a single bullet came at him.
Next up is Moneybagg Yo, and in a shocking turn of events, it was his own gang that came after him. After Moneybagg Yo caught the attention of Yo Gotti, the boss of CMG, Collective Music Group, Yo Gotti tried to sign him not once, but twice. By the third attempt, Moneybagg had already made a name for himself in the streets, and they built up enough trust that he finally signed on the dotted line. Yo Gotti put a $200K bag in Moneybagg's hands as part of the deal, and just like that, Moneybagg was on the path to stardom. Now here's where things started going wrong. Moneybagg is from South Memphis, while Yo Gotti is from North Memphis, and that's a big deal in the streets. The north and south sides of Memphis have been beefing for a long time, and the city is known for its gang culture, with nearly every major gang having a presence. So when Moneybagg signed with Yo Gotti, someone from the north side, it was seen as a major violation of the unwritten street code.
He from North Memphis. You know what I'm saying? North side of Memphis. I'm from South Memphis. It's a hood in South Memphis. Walker Homes, we don't get along, period, with that side. You know what I'm saying? With his side.
Moneybagg took the risk, wanting to leave the street drama behind and secure a better life. But it wasn't long before the backlash started. After signing with CMG, Moneybagg found himself in the middle of beefs with people he didn't even know. Suddenly, guys who he had never met were coming for him, hating on him just because he made that move. One of the first major public conflicts happened with NBA YoungBoy, who he had actually worked with in 2017. The two dropped a joint mixtape called Fed Baby, and at first, it seemed like everything was cool. But out of nowhere, YoungBoy started dissing Moneybagg online, not promoting the project, and throwing shade. Moneybagg, to his credit, kept it professional and didn't engage in the drama. Eventually, they reportedly squashed their beef behind the scenes, but that wasn't the end of his problems. Not long after that, another rapper, Rollo, who was signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 label, started taking shots at Moneybagg as well. Rollo wasn't just coming for Moneybagg either, he was also dissing Yo Gotti and Black Youngsta, who's another artist under CMG. In an interview with The Breakfast Club, Moneybagg explained where the situation seemed to stem from. Rollo, however, claimed Moneybagg got it all wrong, saying he wasn't trying to beef, but just wanted to connect with them for peace talks.
With Moneybagg, before the incident happened with him and I actually was happy as to go to the club to see him. I wanted to talk to the man. I ain't got no beef with nobody on CMG, dog. I don't even really want to deal with that. That's what I was coming to do.
Through it all, Moneybagg tried his best to keep his distance from the drama. With his star power rising and his shows bringing in $200K a night, he was basically an A-list rapper at this point. He made sure to stay out of Memphis as much as possible, only going back to take care of family. But even with all his success, his past wasn't done with him yet. The real trouble started when one of Moneybagg's old friends from the streets accused him of selling out. In 2020, things took a wild turn when a recording surfaced online of an inmate named Stupid Duke calling Moneybagg a sellout.
So what's really going on with you and Moneybagg?
Moneybagg crossed the line, it's forever, smoke for life.
Duke and Moneybagg grew up together and were both part of a crew called Young Mob before Moneybagg blew up. But according to Duke, once Moneybagg started getting fame and attention from the world, he switched up and left his day one homies behind. Instead of sticking with the people he grew up with, Duke said Moneybagg started rolling with the ops and left everyone else in the trenches. That's why Duke made it clear that Moneybagg can't ever come back to the city, and if he does, it's on sight.
It's Smoke. It used to be Young Mom, and he did a song with Dude to Kill Young Mom, so this forever. This something ain't gonna never stop.
Moneybagg, for his part, defended himself, saying his decision to sign with CMG and leave Memphis wasn't about betraying anyone. He explained that the issues between North and South Memphis were more about a rivalry, not any deep-seated beef. According to Moneybagg, no one from CMG ever disrespected or offed anyone from his old crew. It's just that the two sides had a history of not getting along. In his eyes, he wasn't jumping ship to break bread with people who hurt his people. He just saw an opportunity to escape the streets and took it.
Just by me doing that deal, that situation, and seeing a bigger vision, they didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't understand like the opportunity. Nobody didn't get killed over this anyway. Like, leave it alone. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep going. You
so
know
they almost looking like, yo, you with the ops. No,
yeah,
man.
That's exactly. Other side, over their ass, op ass.
When he put it like that, it seemed pretty reasonable. But as it turns out, Moneybagg wasn't telling the whole truth. If we rewind back to 2010, there was a pretty big incident that involved Yo Gotti, CMG's boss. Gotti and two other men turned themselves in after being involved in a shooting outside Level 2 nightclub over Thanksgiving weekend. The whole thing started after an argument between Yo Gotti and another Memphis rapper, OG Boo Dirty, and it ended with 6 people getting shot. Now here's where things get interesting. OG Boo Dirty is from South Memphis, the same part of town as Moneybagg, and they grew up together. To make things even messier, OG Boo Dirty is also Duke's brother. So, when Duke went off on Moneybagg, it wasn't just about Moneybagg leaving his crew behind for fame. It was personal. There was real bloodshed between the two sides, and Young Mob didn't mess with CMG at all. In fact, back in 2013, OG Boo Dirty dropped a diss track aimed at Yo Gotti called Get MG. If you watch the video, you can even see Moneybagg in the background, so he definitely knew there was tension between his hood and CMG long before he ever signed that deal. The beef wasn't just about a North versus South rivalry. There were deeper issues, and Moneybagg wasn't completely innocent in how it all went down. Once all this came out, more people from Moneybag's hood started coming at him, calling him a sellout for leaving his old crew behind. Moneybag wasn't one to stay quiet, though. He dropped a track called Thinking Out Loud in 2020 where he addressed everything. On the track, he explained that he never had any bad intentions, and he wasn't trying to switch up on anyone. But he also made it clear that if his people felt some type of way about his moves, then so be it.
Hey, hold up, watch the hating on me, get some of thread. Bang, I come where you from.
He even hinted that he had sent Duke some money before Duke started talking to the media, suggesting that Duke was only calling him out for clout. If things couldn't get more complicated, a man named H.D. White, who claims to be Moneybagg Yo's father, jumped into the drama, accusing the rapper of selling out as well. H.D. White posted an old picture of himself and Moneybagg back when they were hanging out with Moneybagg's old crew. The caption was pretty straightforward. Before the money, when everything was cool, now he don't know us no more. He followed it up with another post where he threw even more shade, saying, "Your people will watch you struggle. Go help somebody who would never help them if the shoe was on the other foot. Then they say you did wish me happy birthday. F you and your birthday." This was a direct response to a line in one of Moneybagg's songs where he raps, "My daddy called me on my birthday, didn't even tell me, he just asked me for some cake." It's also worth noting that H.D. White is a rapper too, but Moneybagg has never featured him on any tracks, and vice versa. From the outside, it does seem kinda messed up that Moneybagg made it big and left his day ones behind, especially his dad. But then again, we don't know the full story. Maybe there was tension in their relationship long before the fame. Or perhaps his old crew and even his own dad weren't supportive of his hustle. Maybe they were holding him back, and cutting ties was the only way for him to succeed. Then, when he blew up, they tried to get in on his success, and Moneybagg wasn't with it. For now, the drama between Moneybagg and his past has mostly stayed online. It hasn't escalated into anything serious. But in September 2020, it looked like things might have taken a dangerous turn. While standing outside the Aria Resort and Casino in Las Vegas after celebrating his birthday, shots were fired in his direction. One of his girlfriend's homegirls was grazed by a bullet during the incident.
News overnight, a shooting outside the Aria. Police say a group of people near the valet got into an argument. At least one person fired some shots, maybe into the air. One woman, though, was injured. She was taken to the hospital, later sent home.
Moneybagg quickly denied being the target of the shooting, but the timing seemed a little too suspicious to just brush off. And then there's Peso Pluma, who found himself in serious danger when the cartels literally threatened his life.
Tomorrow's concert by Mexican rapper Peso Pluma is canceled. It was supposed to take place at Fiserv Forum. Shows in other cities are also called off. This after threats from alleged members of a Mexican cartel.
The singer-songwriter has been instrumental in bringing corridos tumbados, modernized narco-corridos that tell stories of the Mexican drug trade, into the mainstream, leading an international wave of popularity for the genre. Peso Pluma has even written and appeared on several tracks dedicated to Joaquin El Chapo Guzman Loera, the infamous former leader of the Sinaloa cartel, who is currently serving a life sentence in a U.S. prison. His association with these themes may have fueled his rise to stardom, but it also placed him in serious danger. Things took a terrifying turn when 3 ominous banners, commonly known as narcomantas, were discovered in different parts of Tijuana, each displaying a dire warning written in large red letters. These banners were not just graffiti or empty threats. In cartel culture, narcomantas are used to send a clear and direct message, often preceding acts of extreme violence. The warning was addressed directly to Peso Pluma, and one of the banners delivered an unmistakable threat. Refrain from appearing this October 14th, because it will be your last presentation. The menacing messages were signed with the initials CJNG, referring to the cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, also known as the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. This cartel is widely regarded as one of Mexico's most powerful and violent criminal organizations, notorious for its brutal tactics and ongoing war with the Sinaloa cartel, El Chapo's former empire. Given Peso Pluma's previous songs that praised El Chapo, many speculated that CJNG viewed his presence in Tijuana as an act of disrespect or provocation. Faced with the chilling reality of what could happen, Peso Pluma's team acted swiftly to prioritize safety above all else. A statement was soon released announcing the cancellation of the highly anticipated show, emphasizing that the decision was made with the safety of everyone in mind.